My soul doth magnify the Lord, and my spirit hath rejoiced in God my Saviour. Only to be found in the Gospel of Luke, Luke chapter 1, verse 46 to 55, those emotionally packed words are the opening lines to one of the greatest and most ancient canticles of the Christian Church. Known as the Magnificat, it is also probably the earliest Marian hymn, Marian meaning devoted to the Virgin Mary, and thus the hymn's alternative title, Song of the Virgin Mary. The words of the Magnificat have also been set to music by some of the finest composers, including Charles Stanford, Thomas Tallis, John Tavener, Ralph Vaughan Williams, Charles Wood, and Herbert Howells, to name but a few. Here, at the parish church of St. Mary, we are used to celebrating Mary as our patron saint on or close to the festival of the official date of her birth, the 8th of September, a patronage that has probably existed here since before the 13th century, and a celebration that we hold every year. We are also fortunate in having an image of the Virgin Mary in the form of painted wood, dating from the mid-19th century, and which stands to the south side of the chapel of the Holy Trinity, thereby forming an appropriate focus for devotion and prayer throughout the year. And finally, we are very used to saying the Magnificat within our services of said evening prayer, in a modern language version, commencing, "My soul glorifies the Lord, my spirit rejoices in God my Saviour." Mary, of course, is the mother of Jesus Christ, and within the Bible the words of the Magnificat are spoken on the occasion of Mary's visit to her cousin Elizabeth, when the latter was pregnant with the child subsequently known as John the Baptist, and Mary was pregnant with Jesus. Notwithstanding the academic debate over whether Mary actually spoke these very words, the Magnificat remains a glorious piece of verse, rejoicing in the forthcoming Messiah, glorifying God for his power, holiness, and mercy, anticipating the transformation of the world, and exalting God for being faithful to his promises to Abraham. However, for all that, how often, I wonder, do we truly glorify the Lord and rejoice in God with the intensity and fervour of Mary? And how do we perceive Mary herself for the weeks between one year's patronal festival and the next? Or indeed, how much of a thought do we give to the person behind the words as we recite the Magnificat during evening prayer? Is Mary just another figure in the narrative of the life of Jesus Christ, playing an almost identical but necessary role for a short period of time? Or is she much more than that? Is Mary someone to be held with the highest of esteem, a reverence worthy of her titles of Mother of God and Mother of the Church? In partial answer to those questions, I would like to suggest that giving Mary a greater focus in our prayer life might allow us to understand more clearly the life of Jesus Christ. Indeed, Benedict XVI considered Mary, through her conception of Jesus, as having entered a spiritual union with Jesus, something we are all called to do in respect to the sharing of divine salvation. Benedict wrote, "It is necessary to go back to Mary if we want to return to that truth about Jesus Christ, truth about the Church, and truth about man." The Hail Mary is a traditional prayer of praise for the Blessed Virgin Mary, and is incorporated into the prayers of the Rosary, or prayer beads as Anglicans sometimes prefer to call them. It is a prayer that is possibly better known and loved in its Latin version as the words of the song Ave Maria. The prayer additionally forms the basis of another prayer, the Angelus prayer of devotion, commemorating the Incarnation, a prayer often used at midday in some Anglican as well as Roman Catholic religious settings, and often up to 3 times a day in some contemplative monasteries. It is usually accompanied by the ringing of the Angelus bell, as referred to in John Betjeman's poem, The Irish Unionist's Farewell, which contains the line, "And the Angelus is calling." These prayers essentially call for the intercession of Mary on our behalf. Every Christian is called to live in community as a member of the Church. That is an essential part of us working out what we need to do in respect to achieving our salvation. As members of a parish church dedicated to the Blessed Virgin Mary, is it possible that we might discover a more focused way of achieving a depth and spread of community, and as a result greater personal sanctification or holiness through the hearts of both Mary and Jesus, the two hearts? Mary may be the patron saint of our parish church, but she is also our heavenly patron. She was also the first believer in Jesus Christ. As such, is she someone we might consider, as individuals and also as a church community, following with greater emphasis and focus within our daily prayer life, as we attempt to say yes to Jesus, to glorify the Lord, and rejoice in God?